I was driving at a very high speed on a freeway with these suicidal thoughts that why am I here in this world? I have no purpose, I have nothing, and I'm the most useless person on this planet. And I remember I screamed out loud in my car, like, I hate you. I did not know who I was talking to. I just screamed out loud, I hate you, and you don't love me. So I had to take an exit. The sign said detour. It was the detour of my life. After I got married, I was in a fight with God for some reason, and I didn't want to believe in anything, like turn into an atheist of sorts. Coming to US, not having my own work permit, I came here as a dependent, and for many years struggling. I'm a dependent on my husband, and that's the tag I've got. I didn't have my bank account, I didn't have my driver's license. Like, why am I here making this sacrifice for my husband who is allowed everything? He was not able to understand my struggles. I was not able to understand his part of the struggles. We both were struggling. Didn't know how to communicate. Our culture didn't teaches us how to, understand and process your own emotions, how to communicate well. And then my daughter was born, my younger daughter, and that led me to postpartum depression. My family didn't believe in any of it, and they were like, just get over it. You have everything in the world, a husband who earns well, you have kids and everything. What's your struggle with this? Just enjoy life. And I didn't know how to enjoy life. And I felt horrible that I'm not a good mother and I'm not a good wife, I'm not a good daughter, like all the self-blame. I went and bought a journal and started journaling. The more I connected with my repressed emotions, the more I understood what's weighing on, the more I understood about the stories I was telling in my mind, paying attention to what I'm thinking. And am I thinking is the reality am I creating? Oh, my thinking is impacting. Let me change my thinking about this. Let me choose another thought about this. Let me reframe it in my mind in a different way. And when I started doing that, everything started shifting in my life. All the closed doors started opening in my life.
I do see a lot of people, even in my surroundings, who are in relationships and they struggle to be honest. Like, where do I start?
Radical honesty is like if it is combined with compassion, with love. And when we do that work, when we do that inner work, our physical reality shifts in a way. When we resolve the clutter in there, it's gone. And your energy state here changes. When your energy state here changes, that friction on the outside world disappears on its own. And you shift. That's the reality shifting.
Welcome back to Twisted Reality. Today I'm sitting down with someone who's learned to bridge two worlds: high achieving leadership in the corporate world and the deep nurturing wisdom of the feminine. Sarika is the founder of Meditate with Sarika, a coach, a guide, and a mother. And her story is about so much more than just success. It's about healing. It's about learning to live authentically and about finding your true self beneath the roles you've been given. Thank you so much for joining.
Hey, Steven. Thank you for the introduction. I'm so excited to be here with you.
Yes, the reason why I felt that you would be a great guest is the balance that you were doing in the world. And from the outside, it seems like you're someone who holds both the nurturing, motherly aspect of the feminine and the achieving energy of the masculine. Has it always been like that for you? Or was there a time when you felt pulled too far in one direction when things were not so balanced?
Um, yeah, no, it hasn't always been like this. Um, I think I had to go through the path of suffering and being too much in my masculine energy in the start, being always go getter, go achiever. And then life had to tame me down and went down the suffering path coming to US, not having my own work permit. I came here as a dependent and for many years struggling like why can't I work? Why can't I be this? Because a lot of my self identity was defined by who I was back in India. I was earning, I had my own bank account, I had this and I had that. And here being under the label of dependent visa. So my visa category was H4. It was a dependent visa for many people, for many women who come here to support their husbands who have moved here for work. So for me, I struggled in that identity that I don't have my own identity anymore. I'm a dependent on my husband, and that's the tag I've got. I didn't have my bank account. I didn't have my driver's license. I didn't had the privilege to do whatever I wanted. And I thought it would be a 1 year, 2 year ride. But for me, it became like a 8 year, 9 year struggle, you know. So, yeah, so went down that rabbit hole. 2006, I moved to this country. I had my older daughter who was born in India while I was there. Really not very spiritual, nothing, not religious at all. I kind of disconnected from God a little bit. I was very secretly spiritual, like had my own connection with God growing up. Um, but after I got married, I was in a fight with God for some reason, and I didn't want it to believe in anything, like turned into an atheist of sorts, and then moved here and really struggled big time. And then in 2011, my daughter was born, my younger daughter, and that led me to postpartum depression. I didn't know at that time something as postpartum depression. Also, my frustration of being in this country for too long without a work permit. Like, why am I here making this sacrifice for my husband who is allowed
Mm.
everything? He was not able to understand my struggles. I was not able to understand his part of the struggles. We both were struggling, didn't know how to communicate. Our culture didn't teaches us how to, understand and process your own emotions, how to communicate well. All of this was, yeah, all the challenges I faced. And in 2012, I remember very profoundly. I was done with life. Going through postpartum depression, didn't know it existed. My family didn't believe in any of it, and they were like, "Just get over it. You have everything in the world, a husband who earns well, you have kids and everything. What's your struggle with this? Just enjoy life." And I didn't know how to enjoy life. Everything inside me was just bursting out. Dealing with migraines, very low on energy. I remember one day I was almost about to faint while I was cooking, and I didn't know. It was like I just wanted to cry all the time, and nobody on the outer world would understand. And I felt horrible that I'm not a good mother. I have a small baby, and I'm not being able to, really provide that love and affection to them. And I'm not a good wife. I'm not a good daughter. Like all the self blame. And I became very suicidal at that time. And I remember in 2012 very clearly, I was driving at a very high speed on a freeway with these suicidal thoughts that why am I here in this world? I have no purpose, I have nothing, and I'm the most useless person on this planet. And I really want to end my life. And I was driving at a really high speed on the freeway with an intention that can I jump off from a cliff? Can I go bang my car somewhere? And I remember I screamed out loud in my car, like, I hate you. I do not know who I was talking to. I just screamed out loud, I hate you. And you don't love me. And I don't want this life anymore. You know, um, that's all. I think at the top of my voice, I was alone and I just screamed. And my story is very magical, mystical, and enchanting in many ways. So, so what happened is the moment I did that, I think now looking back, I can connect the dots. But at that time, it was like the traffic slowed down. Everything just came to halt because there was traffic buildup. I was angry and furious. So I was like, I can't be sitting here in the traffic. So I had to take an exit. I was like, where do I take the exit? And the moment I went to the exit, the sign said detour, detour, and then it took me into a loop. And then again, went onto some other road, and I kind of fused off and everything. But now looking back, that moment was the defining moment for me. It was the detour of my life. At, I can so concretely say that universe gave me a detour right from that moment onwards. And as a child, I used to write Ram Nam, like Ram, 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 just because somebody told me to do that and I did it. So I went to a temple, somebody told me, oh, I have a message for you. You should do Ram Nam. And as a child, I used to journal and talk to God through my journaling. I took it as a sign. I went and bought a journal and started journaling. And the journaling exercise was like a self-inquiry journey for me. I started conversing with whoever, I don't know who, but I just started writing everything I was weighing inside. Why do I have these problems? Why did it? Why? But what about this? But what? And the more I did, the more I started healing. More magical my life started turning around. So it's a long story answer to your masculine and feminine, but the more I connected with my repressed emotions, the more I understood what's going on, the more I understood about the stories I was telling in my mind. I don't have a work permit, I cannot work, I da da da. This is the more I understood, how those patterns were playing in my life. And around that time when I started this self-inquiry journey, the book called Secret, Law of Attraction
Mm.
came in my reality. And I read that book, but I was like, I discarded it. 2 days later, the documentary came on Netflix while I was swapping something. And I was like, this is the same book. Okay, let me see. When I saw that, it kind of rang bell, but I was angry. I was like, this can't be true. I did not create my life. I did not choose this. I did not choose any of this story that I'm living. I did not choose to come to this country. I had to support my husband to come here. I did not choose to be on dependent visa. I did not choose to, whatever. But it made me mindful. It made me mindful to look into like what stories am I playing in my mind every day? Very mindful. And that led me to, self-inquiry through journaling, mindfulness, paying attention to what I'm thinking. And am I thinking is the reality am I creating? Oh, my thinking is impacting. Let me change my thinking about this. Let me choose another thought about this. Let me reframe it in my mind in a different way. And when I started doing that, everything started shifting in my life. All the closed doors started opening in my life. And I started getting answers. It was really mystical, magical journey from there on. And coming to the point, so my masculine energy, like I got to do this, I got to figure it out, slowly turned into feminine energy about trusting the universe, about letting letting the universe flow through me to. And it was a long journey of like 12 years or more even now. So, meditating, sitting in the silence with my own self, figuring it out, talking with my own inner self, talking with the universe. And yeah, so that was the journey. I know it was a long answer to your question.
I mean, so many insights. I love what you touched upon. One is the communication, like that you didn't know how to communicate your emotions, but I think a lot of people are struggling. Even in my own life, what you were sharing, I can see it in a reversed way, like how my parents also were. Also, like going into the different country, one not having a work permit, one having a work permit, and then the struggle that is there. That okay, I'm doing all the work, you're not doing anything, but actually you're contributing to the family, but that's not really being calculated. Like that's not really being valued. And so I think that a lot of people struggle with this communication, being able to communicate to their partner or their family, like establishing boundaries, saying no,
Yeah.
listening to yourself. And I would love to hear more about how you started to establish that connection with yourself instead of always looking for blaming people on the outside, blaming environment, blaming situations, blaming whatever, starting to look inside and think, okay, I am the one who is creating this, so how can I
Yeah.
change?
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, like most of the journey was through self-inquiry, asking the questions from my own self. I was angry, and angry at my husband for not choosing, what I want. I want to go back to India. Why can't we go with that? Like, why not just being that perfect, I think our culture also, the movies and everything else, like the princess story, like, the prince is always ready to sacrifice the whole world for the princess. So having all of those expectations, right, from one person who's also trying to survive here in a new country, I was not able to see his side of the story at all because I was just so focused on my own self. But when I started doing all this inner work with my own self, understanding myself first, understanding what I'm thinking, why am I thinking, where does this belief come from? Is it really true or am I making this up? Is this really what he meant to say to me? What was underneath this? Why would he so do that? Just like analyzing that thought and by myself in my journal, breaking it down just opened up the knots within me. And when I understood that, I kind of see the whole clear picture that this is not the story. I then understood, what is the other person feeling? Why were they so reactive? Why were they escaping the conversation? Why were they, feeling attacked? Like with the moment I want to say about something,
Mhm.
because why are they so defensive? Oh, because that's how they might be thinking about this. So I really became the student of my own mind, understanding my mind and then understanding the minds of others. And I then learned through this process that how do I communicate in a way that they would listen? How would I communicate in a way that my partner would want to talk to me? So, and I have to tell you this, it's not my own alone journey. But when I kind of healed myself, then I was at that grounded place where I could have that conversation with my partner and hold space for them to heal as well, to have those difficult conversations because I had evolved and changed in my mind and my thought process and it was a years of journey. Even today there are things, baggages that will come up for both of us, and we again go back. Now that we have done it so many times, these repetitive cycles, we know how to go back. And sometimes when we'll see, oh, I'm in the reactive mode, he'll take that grounded place and come to me and say, let's talk about this. But in the starting, I would hold that space and I'll say, I want you to sit. This is what I'm feeling. Let's talk about this. I don't want to hurt you. I want you to win and I want me to win. It's not about winning an argument. It's about, I want to understand where you're coming from. What do you feel when I say that? Or what do you, I feel that you don't care about me. Is that what it is? And when I would provide that space, safe space for them to open up, they would open up and they would like he would come and tell me you have no idea about what I have gone through. I've not shared so many things. At that time when I was coming in this country, I had this pressure, that pressure. I have to make sure the family. I'm sorry, I didn't pay attention on what you were going
Mhm.
through emotionally. We both healed each other. And I think, I was the person who was ready to walk out. Like, this relationship is not working. Let me walk out from here. And he was the person who was trying to keep it together, but would not communicate. So when we both kind of grounded, we both started communicating, we both started talking like real deep, heartfelt emotions that we were afraid of sharing, holding space for each other. We both started healing and we started seeing the layers of all the walls that we built for each other. We started shattering those and we reached the heart for each other. And when we reach the heart, it's only love. There's no other thing. What we want and what the other person wants is same. They want validation, they want love, they want to know that they did a good job. I wanted the same, he wanted the same. Oh my God. Now we both are a team when we look at each other. Like, how do we get through this? Anything that life throws upon us, how do we get through this together? But I wish, I mean, somebody would have coached us, you know, on but like my husband was very opposed, like when initially when we were facing through difficult times in a relationship, he would be very opposed to going through therapy, marriage counseling. Nope. Like most Indian men would not want to bear their emotions to
Mhm.
somebody they don't know. So in my journey of evolving and learning through my own emotions, I became a coach for him. Hey, let's talk it out. And
Wow.
so, and then I understood about the masculine and the feminine aspects, that, oh, I could see my patterns. I'm in my masculine energy when I want power, when I want control over this, when I want to define this. And then I would also see my feminine energy. And my feminine was blocked. We both were
Mhm.
masculines conflicting with each other before. There were two masculines, right? But when we both healed, there are times when I'll go into my masculine and he'll come into his feminine. And there are times when he'll be in his masculine and I'll be in my feminine. And it's a play. It's the play of energies and how beautiful that is. But we have put in a lot of work together in our relationships. And now, having gone through that work, I, I'm able to see what others are struggling through in my community. So I call my community Beautiful Humans Community, because we are all humans and each one of us have such beautiful stories. And and beyond this human costume, we all are just pure love. we all are we all are just so pure internally. It's the costume that we have donned on, and the story and the baggage of this costume keeps us in this journey of living this journey. And it's truly our hero's journey. Each one of us is leading this hero's journey. But to become a hero, we have to go through the suffering and the ordeal of all of it, and to come out of it and then
Mhm.
understand what it is all about, and then realizing the essence of who we truly are, right? So yeah, so it's been a blessed journey, and I truly now I'm at this point where I anybody who's just so struggling through anything in life or suffering, I know there is light at the end of the tunnel. And it may take someone a lifetime of suffering, and maybe that will be another lifetime when they will it's a journey of your soul, right, evolving through these life
Mhm.
experiences. Or it may be in this lifetime that they'll understand the lessons that they've come here for. But it's all the divine leela and the game that we are all signed up for. So yeah, I don't know where I went with that. But
Yeah, I would love to kind of sum up what I've just learned from you. It's like one is that if you want to communicate, you have to be radically honest. You should not hide from your partner, especially your partner, because that's like the one that you chose to, or maybe your parents chose, but still you're making a daily choice to stay with them. So that radical honesty that you said, that you started sharing what you feel, and then it transforms. So until you don't make the decision to share what you feel and what and why you feel the way you feel, why you think, like whatever you're going through right now, you won't be able to progress. Like the relationship won't get better because you're stuck in waiting for the other person to start. And so I love that radical honesty. And
yeah,
then
I would say about
yeah.
the radical honesty is a lot of times I see people in my community, in my, um, um, that radical honesty is like, if it is combined with compassion, with love, the
Mm,
why behind it is winning the, like, some people are brutally honest, right? I am honest, you are this, right? But really going underneath, connecting with the heart rather than the head. Like, I need to be
mm,
honest and I need to tell you. but rather coming into your heart why this relationship matters, why this other person matters.
Yeah, feel before you think. Like when you go into when you want to address it, don't come from a place of, well, I'm so angry. Now I will prove that I'm right and you're wrong. And
Yeah,
that's your communication. Like I understand what you're saying. You're coming in as
yeah,
inviting the person to share what they feel, not just pushing out what you feel and expecting them to say yes, 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 sorry, sorry, sorry. It's my fault, you know. So
yeah.
I that's a very important point.
Yeah, because the truth is that there is no one singular truth, right? It's
Right.
my perspective of the situation and it's your perspective of the situation. So let's come here to the meeting point and say, this is how I see things. And the other person says, this is how I see things. And then we collaborate, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very important, I feel, because I do see a lot of people, even in my surroundings, who are in relationships and they struggle to be honest because somewhere they feel that if they, like, where do I start? Like, you know, all this time I've not been honest. Now there's so much to catch up. So it feels overwhelming. And what if I start being honest and my partner leaves me or feels that I'm not the person that they married, or there's so much thoughts that are going on. So I think shifting from thoughts to the heart, like
Yeah.
what's the common thing that we have is there's love that we carry.
Yeah. True.
And something also that I've recently thought about a lot is like is the honesty is the basis of every should be the basis of every long lasting relationship, because if you can't be honest, then you then that means that the other person does not respect you for who you truly are,
Mhm.
and they don't value you for who you truly are. They they just expect you to be the way that they want you to be. And so if you can't be honest, that means that you can't be yourself. And is that a life that you want to live?
Yeah.
You know, so I think that journaling part that you were sharing is a very, very good tool to start observing yourself and your thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we as a society need to teach children about journaling. Like I've taught my
Mm,
daughters about journaling, processing your emotions and your mental clutter. Sometimes our minds are get so cluttered, right? Um everything is weighing up on it, right? Like we got to figure out so much. When there's so much clutter, there's no clarity about what do I make
right.
out of the situation. And the moment you start writing, all that clutter, you put it on the piece of paper, you can just lay it down. You can see the whole picture clearly. What I made it up out of the situation, what was right, what was not right. So yeah,
Yeah, it's
powerful.
actually helps when you're not able to sit down for meditation. If you have a lot of thoughts, to keep like a paper by your side and then just write down whatever is going on in your head. Because when you write it down, it doesn't really repeat because you know you've written it down. So, like, I feel it does help.
Mm,
And then this another part was where you were sharing that you like there are moments when you go into a conversation or you start communicating and then the other person is not really receptive. And I think that before going into conversation, before trying to communicate something, it's very important to set an intention that
yes.
if the person is not open, not receiving, not willing to hear me out, I'm not trying to push it down their throat. Like I will respect that right now they're not ready to listen, so I will, you know, I will try to communicate, I will try to approach them, but if they're not ready, then I will step back, give them space and time. So
Yeah.
I think that's very important because sometimes we just want to say what we want to say and then the person is not really open for it, and it's just like a wall, like what you were sharing.
Yeah. 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 Understanding. Yeah. And sometimes like I see my kids, fight and or sometimes, um when they fight, one person is like, I want to tell you my perspective, and the other person is angry and they don't want to hear your perspective right now. Give it a break. Give it a break. Then another time. Okay, it's fine. If you are really weighing it out, I'll tell my daughter, just journal about it. Like, write it down. or write a letter to her and give it to her later on when she's calm, right? If you really want to let out from your system because you are so fired up right now. So,
Mm.
but she's not open to listening to you right now. So, yeah. Yeah.
That's a great way of expressing yourself. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
And then I've seen you, one of your posts, I think Facebook, LinkedIn, where you share insights from Meditate with Sarika. Maybe before I start this, can you share a little bit about how that happened? Like, and what is the intention behind
Yeah.
Meditate with Sarika? Because you have events and
Right.
you help people.
Yeah. So going back to my story, right? Let's go back to our story to tell you about how. So after I started, healing and internally doing a lot of inner work, I started my life transforming, and
Mhm.
and and slowly started my spiritual exploration into many facets. Every time I connected with my inner self, I connected deeper with the spirit of who we are, right? And that has led me on a path of, call it self-realization, call it whatever, like, but really mystical, magical journey of understanding the source, the creator that we are, and why we came here on this human journey. And and it has been like this whole journey of one step learning, another step, another experience after another experience. I kind of not only healed, but started having some mystical experiences. Um, I was not a meditator. I was doing a lot of journaling. It started with journaling. Then once I was feeling with a lot of anxiety and about something, and journaling was not happening. It was a physical tension I was feeling in my shoulders, in my head, and all. Like the anxiety was so much that I wasn't able to breathe. And I was like, oh my God, what is this? I can't breathe right now. And I was struggling to breathe. What do I do? Will I like, it was like literally a panic attack.
Mm.
And I typed on YouTube, panic attack, anxiety, help, well, I don't know, just random words. And a meditation showed up for me. And it was a visualization meditation. Close your eyes, you are on a cloud, go somewhere, blah, blah, blah. And then you come back. It was a 30 minutes meditation. I'd never meditated before. I did it for the first time. And I can't tell you, the moment I ended my meditation, I opened my eyes. I was like, what the heck was that? I was like, I don't have any pain. I'm breathing fine and deeper and relaxed. The colors outside were vibrant. Everything had a hue and glow to it. The sun shining from my window was very special and glistening. I was enchanted with, what is this? What did it do? And wow, I'm feeling so good right now. And that was my first introduction to meditation. And after that, every time I would journal and I would sit in some quiet time without any music, anything, just close my eyes and then go deeper and deeper. And then slowly, the journey became like I would journal about something, close my eyes, go deeper, and my answers would come, and I would write my answers.
Mm.
And the answers would not come in my, like, I am writing. Answers would come in, like, someone telling me, like, but why does this happen? Because you are, like, somebody advising me through that, like, you doing this. And I started having the dialogue slowly over the period of time. But no, but why do you, but why, da da da. So I was like, I call that you as universe, you know. And and I've been like spirituality is really a rabbit hole. It's like an endless rabbit hole where you learn one thing, then you get another thing, and then you explore another thing. So the moment I started exploring, the more doors started opening. And my mom in 2013 was going through a real health problem. Like she was going through an autoimmune disease. At that time, she was not being able to diagnose. Nobody was able to diagnose her. My brother in India was struggling, like, what's wrong with my mom? Her health is deteriorating. I was sitting here in US so far away from her. I did not know how to help her. And I was struggling, like, what if, like, really scared for mom's life. And at that time, somebody in my family showed her kundli or astrological birth chart, the astrologer, and the astrologer recommended doing Mahamrityunjay chants for my mom. And I was so far away from her. I said, I'll do this for mom, because my brother was busy and everything, and he didn't have time, and who would do it? So I took it. And at that time, I was not religious at all. I had a fight with God, right? So but I was like, I'll do this for mom. And I looked into the meaning of the mantra word by word because I can't do it. Just somebody tells me, just do the mantra, I'll just read it. So I understood the meaning of the mantra, and I sat down, lighted diya, and would sit down in chanting that mantra. And that mantra was so powerful. I now looking back, I know what it did to me and how it led me on another path. But at that time, I would sit, like, my goal used to be do 108 recitations in a sitting. And I would do 108. I would do for an hour and a half. My legs would be numb. And after that, I would just go in a deep inner stillness, like from where I didn't want it to move. And just sit in that silence for maybe half an hour longer or something. I was not working. I had no job at that time. I was just, my kids would go to school and I would just sit in my meditation. And I did not know Reiki at that time. I would take all of that energy and send it to my mom. I would take all of that bliss I was feeling and I would send it to my mom intuitively. Uh, and then I would get a call from my brother. My mom was better today. This happened. This progress happened. I was like, wow, there is a connection. I don't know, something. And I kept doing that. And I remember there came a very critical point in her journey where doctors were like, not able to diagnose and everything. And her health was like, we felt like maybe a week more and maybe we'll.
Mm.
I went to the temple and because there were kids in my home or something and I wanted some peace.
We'll be right back to the conversation in just a moment, so stay tuned. So a while back, my wife and me started experimenting with structured water, and I've got to say the results have been undeniable. We've noticed a clearer mind, more energy, and an overall sense of well-being that I didn't expect from something as simple as changing our water. And it's not just a feeling, science backs this up. Just to give you one example of one study that they've made is the impact on brain function. In the study, brain scans of a young woman showed that just 10 minutes after drinking Analemma water, her delta brainwaves shifted from below average coherence to normal, while her identical twin who drank regular water saw no change at all. That's the power of structured water at work. I only recommend what I've personally tested and found to work. If you want to try it yourself, check out the link in the description. Plus, use code SAVESOIL for 10% off as a thank you for supporting the channel. Now, back to the conversation.
So I went to a Sai Baba temple near my house and I sat down there in meditation. And my mom was a Sai Baba believer. So I did this 108 chants and I went internally and I said, God, I'm not ready. I don't know, divine source, Shiv. I was praying to Shiv through that mantra. Like, I'm not ready. My brother is not ready. Prepare us. And through that chanting, I had understood, like, like how the mantra says, Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukameva Bandhanan. Like, it's a prayer to the Shiv, the one who has the third eye. Help me, cut me off from all the bandhans, all the attachments, like how a cucumber is detached from a wine. Like, detach me. It's called the nirvana or moksha or liberation mantra as well. So, and I was like, I know that mom has to go somewhere someday, but no, I'm not ready right now. Prepare me. And that petition I made was answered. The universe prepared me through that journey. But I would sit in meditation reciting that mantra. 108 would end and I would want to do more. I would go for the second round of 108, third round of 108, and that continued for days. And and my intuition started waking up internally. I did not know, like, how would I know things? How would I, like, I would know that something is coming for mom, or oh, we'll find a doctor, oh, this is gonna happen. And I would tell my brother, um, and then it happened that I went to India. When I started from the flight, there was no diagnosis on mom. When I landed in India, the doctors found the diagnosis that it was a Wegener's, it was an autoimmune disease. This is the thing. They gave her steroids. Everything was better. I reached the hospital from the airport to see her, and she was so much better. And my brother said, "You have no idea what has gone through all of her journey and everything." I said, "I knew it. Like, I told you, the moment I'll come see mom, she'll be fine." And he said, like, he was like, "You have not seen her in her worst. You just come here to see now that she's all, pumped up on steroids and getting better." So, and then in 2013, I was like given 9 months. You know, I went to India in May. She passed away in December. And in those 9 months, Stephen, it was like resources, books, everything was given, sent to my way. And my curiosity and my hunger just grew so much. It was the power of that mantra and that petition. And universe prepared me throughout those 9 months. In November, I got a hit. I have to go see my mom. In November, I got such a strong hit. My mom was kind of surviving, doing well. She was really becoming like a teddy bear because of all the steroids and everything in her. But she was in a very good state, compared to what we had seen. And doctors said, we don't know how long will she live. Maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years, maybe 2 months. We don't know. I got such a strong hit internally. I had to go see my mom. I went there to see her. I surprised her. And the day I was coming back, I, in that moment, knew this is the last time I'm seeing her. Oh, Sarika, take this
Mm.
moment and milk it as much as you can. And the hit I got was I was about to leave for the airport. I went to the car. My brother was going to drop me off, and I had left my phone upstairs. So I said, "Oh, hang on. I have to go get my phone upstairs." And my mom was upstairs. And the moment I picked up my phone, I got a hit. Sarika, this is the last time. Talk to her. Nobody was at home apart from my mom. Everybody was downstairs waiting for me to see me off. So in that 5 minutes, I made it 15 minutes, and I sat down with my mom talking. And I was like, how do I even process that this is the last time? But I was so content internally that this is my last time. And how do I drink this fully? I leave, and then I kind of knew what's coming. I came back to US on December 6th. December 15th, she was moved to another hospital, to Ames, because my brother wanted a second opinion and everything. Her her health condition deteriorated because they cut off on all her supplies of meds and everything because they wanted to do all the testing. Everything started deteriorating for her. She was about to go into ICU, and I was outside. I came home, and my husband was on a FaceTime call with them, and he said, "You have to talk to mom for the last time. You have to talk to mom. They're taking her to the ICU." And I knew that this is the last time I'm seeing her on that. In that moment, again, I got a hit. I got a hit to help her prepare for her journey beyond. And Sarika, you have to do this. And I don't know what I got, what was speaking through me, Stephen. I spoke to my mom. Mom, your job here is done. There is your journey from here on is starting forward. There are, see, she was believed in Sai Baba. I said, Sai Baba is waiting for you on the other side, and they're waiting for you to receive. And the moment I said that, she started crying. I said, Mom, you've done your work. You've done your work as a mother. We both are independent. And she said, thank you for saying that. You have relieved me because she was holding on to life. I cannot leave my kids. I cannot leave them alone. They're not ready. And the moment I said that, she was relieved. Her whole human journey was validated that she did a good job. And she said, I have been seeing signs. She was having some hallucinations because she was on high on dose, sleepless, everything else. Things were like in the hospital environment. So my brother would say, yeah, she talks about weird things now. She was going through her end state. And she told me this. She said, I saw Sai Baba and he came to me and he told me this. And I don't know why I said Sai Baba, you know, but I told her that. And that was her validation. She said, you have relieved me. She told me all of that. And she said, I'm ready to go and I'm ready to see what is beyond. I said, it will be a magical journey, Mom. It will be magical for you. You just have to just surrender and keep going, and we'll be all fine. And she took a deep breath in and she said, she called me Bubble, my home. She said, Bubble, come home. And I said, you want me to come? Because 2 weeks, 1.5 weeks later, back previously, I was in India. And she said, I want you to come. And the moment she said, I want you to come, I got a hit. She's not calling me for herself. She's calling me to support dad and brother. I said, okay, I'm coming. And I told my husband, I'm going to India. And he was like, you were just there. This will go on, her health and everything. You were just there. It was peak of December. I said, no, I have to go. I took her pictures with me. I boarded the flight. On the flight, I was doing this Mahamrityunjay chant. On the flight, I get a spiff of energy of love, like bliss flowing through me. There was a joyful energy. I don't know, it's all mixture of emotions. I just got so high on that energy. I was like, what is this energy that I'm feeling right now? Like I could feel it and even now when I'm talking, I can feel it in my cells. It was my mom. I knew it at that time. I got like a hit again. Oh, mom has transitioned. It's mom telling me that she's here around me. Oh, I'm so happy for you, mom. I'm so happy for you. Oh, I can feel you. I can feel your love. It's you. And I wasn't sad. I reached India, landed there. My brother and all my cousins were there. My brother wasn't there. And the moment I didn't see my brother, I knew. And my cousins were there. They were like, "We're sorry." And I was like, "It's okay. I know." And they were like, "No, we want to tell you." Like, I know. Like, okay. And I reached home. I had pictures of mom. I was giving out those pictures, and everybody thought I'm in shock. I'm not crying. How come I'm so content? You need to grieve. I wasn't grieving. I was just so content. I could feel my mom around me. Her body was there, but I felt like her energy was here with me. When we went to cremate her in Haridwar, we went from Delhi to Haridwar, I would tell my brother, do you feel mom? Initially, he thought like she, but then there came a point, he came and sat down to me and he said, I know what you're saying. I feel mom. She's here with us in the bus, right? I said, yeah, she's here. We were holding her ashes. We were taking it. We did her visurgence of her ashes and all the rituals we performed. Me and my brother we're happy. Are we supposed to be happy or are we supposed to be sad? No, we're happy for mom. It's such because it was her joyful state. She was happy on the other side. So, and from there on started my journey into I I became like I came back, I was in the night. What happens to soul after it dies? What happened to this? What happens to that? I started learning about near death experiences, blah, 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 whatever came my way. And I came across a book at that time after I came to US. And the book's name was The Afterlife of Billy Fingers. How my bad brother Billy told me that there is life after death. So when I came from India, I came on 1st of Jan. I started having mystical experiences. And I'll share one experience, and it may sound very woo woo for your audience, but I'll still share it anyway. I wrote a blog about this. So I came from India and I kind of was grieving somewhat. Like I was missing her physical presence. Like I couldn't pick up my phone and just call her. One day I forgot that I cannot call her. I was cooking and everything, and suddenly I picked up my phone to like FaceTime her. And I was like, oh damn, I can't FaceTime her anymore. And I kind of became a little sad about that. Like, and just at that moment, my phone rang. My landline phone. I used to have Vonage at that time, and my Vonage phone rang. I picked up the phone. It said unknown caller. I answer the phone call. I say hello, and it's my mom's voice. Bubble. That's all. And I freaked out. I freaked out. Like, how can it be? How can, is it auntie? Is it Masiji? Is it Buaji? Who is it? Like, some of my parent, like, aunts. Who is it calling? And I kind of freaked out. And the moment I freaked out, my heart started racing fast and everything. And the phone got disconnected. And I was like, oh, this is unknown caller. Should I call Vonage to find out who called me? It was my mom's voice, but who called me? I called my relatives who I said, did you call me? Did you call me? No, no, no. And then I called my brother. I called him. I say, you won't believe what happened. I think mom called me. And he freaked out. He said, you really need to go see a psychiatrist or something. You are hallucinating, or you are just too depressed, and you really need to take care of yourself. And the moment I heard that, I was like, okay, not a safe space for me to share. Zip. I said, nah, I think it must be this. I just covered it up. I like, nah, nah, nah. I think it was something wrong. Call. Oh, I'll just see. Blah. Okay, you take care. Have a good day. Bye. And I disconnected the phone. I decided not to tell it to anyone. I did not tell my husband or not my kids. I just pretended everything was fine. Internally, I was questioning. And in the night, everybody goes to sleep. I just sit on Google. My dead mom calling me. Is it true? And I found so many accounts of people online, forums, other things, signs they received, this, that. And the crux of the story that I understood was it really takes a lot for a soul, a deceased soul, to give you a sign like that. They would do it through technology is easiest for them to control because it's energy manipulation and everything, but it takes immense amount of energy. So if you've got a sign like that, you're really lucky. And people have told, like, yeah, a lot of things. And just after that experience, it never happened again. It just happened first time. But after that experience, I started having dream visitations from my mom. And those dream visitations were so profound. She would tell me about where she is in the universe. She's in a realm where it's all light. She's in a realm where it's all sound energy. There's nothing but sound waves. There are colors of all sorts. There are worlds, there are realities, there are planets. And for me, for those dreams felt so real. I did not feel like I would wake up excited, joyful, feeling I met my mom. Wow, my mom is telling me about all of these stuff and realities, and I don't know, but yeah, she looked beautiful. She looked this. And one day I remember she was looking very tanned, and I asked her, like, you look tanned and like golden. So she said, the world I am in is all, there's so much of light that it's the glow and golden glow. And I was like, wow, okay. So the book I mentioned, The Afterlife of Billy Fingers, there were instances. So these are my experiences happening in January, February of 2014, and around March time frame, I got that book. Uh, you know, uh, and I became a junkie. I read that book in, I think, 2 nights. I was working during the day, and the whole night was not able to keep the book down. I would cry throughout the whole book. The Billy was a guy who had died, and and Annie Kagan, the author of the book, she was receiving messages from Billy and she was writing it down, and Billy told her to publish this book, and he's talking about these worlds and realms and everything else, and about the existence of human life. And those were the kind of experiences I was having, and for me it was a validation. I'm not going nuts and crazy. This is something. And from that one rabbit hole, to another thing. And then I became like, my meditations became so much more deeper. I would sit in stillness for, I would just sit in that bliss of that stillness and getting all my answers internally. And one thing would lead to another. you know 2000 till 2014 I wasn't working, right, because I didn't had work permit. But from there on, my life just started on an upward movement. I said, "Oh, what can I do?" Me and my friends got together. We started an event planning business. Soon, I found an internship in a tech company. The same year, Obama passed the law where H4 EADs were granted visas. So everything started happening for me, and then one job to another job to another job. It was effortless. Like all I had to do is show up my best, do the best I can, and that's it. And it was up to me to decide what do I want to experience next. So I was already like reading and learning about law of attraction and manifestation, but now here is also the spiritual world that was opening up that also led my curiosity into a lot of other things. So it was just automatic unfoldment. The law of attraction was like, I was like, well, I'm a magnet. It automatically comes to me. Like, how is that happening? So I would I would experiment with the universe. Like, I would create random manifestation requests. This year, I want to go to Greece. I bought a Greece calendar. I put it on my kitchen wall, and I'll see how it does that happen. Let's see if universe can approve that. That year in 2018, I moved to another country, another job, another company. I joined an Israeli startup. It was JFrog, and I moved there. And I think 2 or 3 months down after my joining, they said, "Oh, they used to take the whole company to some places," and they said, "Oh, this year we are going to Greece." And I come to work. I did not see the email, and my colleague said, "Do you know where are we going for our whole company get together this year? We're going to Greece." I said, "Oh, really? Is that so? How cool is that?" And then I said, "Okay, I want to go to Iceland. Let's see if that can happen." And my friend came to me, "I have this whole plan. Can we go to Iceland? Let's do this." We went to Iceland. Everything I would ask would come automatically and easily. And I understood, oh, how is that happening? What is it, first of all? And now I've kind of connected the pieces together. Your mind, your emotions, your feeling state, your beliefs, all of that defines, you know, what we are attracting. Our mind
Mhm.
is electric. We are sending that waves out. Our heart is magnetic. What we are sending out is we are attracting back. I started studying this. What is it? I started attending conferences. I started listening to teachers. In 2017, I went to Dr. Brian Weiss. Do you know who's Dr. Brian Weiss?
No,
Oh, he wrote the classic book, Many Masters, Many Lives, or Many Lives, Many Masters, I think.
sounds
It,
familiar.
it's on past life regression and everything. He was
Mm.
Yeah, so I went to his conference. He was here in my city. A friend reached out, Dr. Brian Weiss is here and you are into this stuff. Would you want to go? I'm like, yes, sure. In his conference, it was a 2-day conference, I think he led the whole group into a regression. At that time I was like, past lives, what is that? Can past lives, like, can I really access my past lives? All of the past lives, I'm curious to see if that can happen. He regressed the whole group into a past life regression, and I didn't go into a past life. I've first of all, my mind was noisy. I was like, am I making this up? Is it real? What to think, what not to? And he was guiding
Mm.
through, like, don't think. Whatever comes is information. Allow your mind to just receive, be a receiver. So I was like, okay, we'll see how we do. And I went into what seemed like a big room, big window, white room. There was a big painting, there was a couch, there was a kitchen. And I was like, this is not past life. I was expecting like a horses or majestic royal kingdoms or some old age medieval times. What is this? This is just very normal. Maybe I went into a future because it's really posh and clean and you know. So um and after the event, there was a book signing with Dr. Brian Weiss, and I went to him and I talked to him. I said, I don't think I accessed a past life. What I accessed is very normal looking future. I think I went into like it doesn't. He said, don't analyze it. If it has any meaning for you, it will come. Just hold on to that information. It's an information for you. And how
Mm.
we think of past, present, and future is not linear. It's not past happened because you've read in history, that's how past looks like. And, so he said past, present, and future are all happening simultaneously right now. And
Mm.
where you have gone is depending upon your journey, what is needed for you to know, what is needed for you to learn, and that will be revealed to you. So let's see what has been revealed to you. If it has any significance, it will show up. I was like, okay, interesting thought. Okay, well, whatever. I left. 2 days later, I was at my work and my manager calls me. She was traveling somewhere. She said, Sarika, I really need your help. Could you go to my apartment? She lives on Santana Row here in the Bay Area, really, high end downtown area. So she said, can you go there in my apartment? She lived in a penthouse or somewhere. Uh, go to my apartment and get me my passport because I really have to fly from here. And this is how you enter my apartment. This is where my passport is and everything. So I asked my colleague, would you come along with me? So she said, sure, I can come along. And I enter her apartment. And Stephen, I told my colleague, you go get her passport that's there. But I stood there in awe. This is the room I saw at Dr. Brian Weiss's. This is the exact same room, big window, white walls, big painting, kitchen, couch. Oh my God. I was taking pictures of her room. And my colleague came like, what happened? Why are you taking pictures? I was like, no, you have no idea. It's for my own, this thing. And I came back and I was like, wow. So it busted my belief, my limited mindset expanded that there is more to reality than I understand. There is more to there is more to learn, And then I was like curious about past life regression.
Mm.
I started learning from Dolores Cannon, past life regression. She was a pioneer in that. I did a course in hypnosis. I did other things like, how does this work? Just out of my curiosity, I became like a student. I want to learn this. How is it? And now when I
Mm.
take people, since then I've experienced a couple of past lives. Too. And now, I provide this as a service, past life regression experience. And I tell you how much information our mind holds, how much data our mind
Mm.
holds. Your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, right? And then there is unconscious and then super conscious mind. There are levels to our minds. And how deep can we go from the conscious when we go sit in that meditation? When we close our eyes, when we still ourselves, when we slow down our breathing, we go from a beta brain waves to deep into, start going into alpha, to delta, to theta, to delta. And delta is the deep brain where we access all the unconscious stuff. We do that every night through our dreams, right? But through meditation, through past life hypnosis, through other things, we have power, or it's a tool to access that deeper level of our minds where all our answers reside. And beyond the unconscious, there is super conscious, God mind, I feel that, so, and that's my passion. That brings me joy when I take people into their deeper states of mind where I can create that container and safe space that they can let go, and then they can access what the truths their mind is holding, what information their mind is holding about the beliefs, about the baggages that are not only from this lifetime. It could be from the ancestral lineage. It could be from the past lives. It could be from the childhood. Something was left unresolved. There's so many layers to it. And when we do that work, when we do that inner work, our physical reality shifts in a way. When we resolve the clutter in there, it's gone. And your energy state here changes. When your energy state here changes, that friction on the outside world disappears on its own and you shift. That's the reality shifting. And you say, how come this resistance is not there? Either that person left or that person transformed or a new person came. How is that? How is this? It truly feels magical when we start doing that inner work. And that's the whole intention behind creating Meditate with Sarika, behind creating Beautiful Humans community, behind, it's all passion led work. Because when I see that transformation, that breakthrough for people, the impact it has on their lives, it just fuels me. And I feel like the whole intention about creating Beautiful Humans community is that we don't have to do life alone. Let's be here for each other. Let's And it's really like, when people come, it's they can feel the love, they can feel that, the support, they can feel a safe space where they can be themselves. And sometimes in our meditation circles, you know we welcome tears, we welcome when people just break up and they say, I am done with this story. I've carried this burden for too long. And everybody comes together in supporting them. Let's let it go together, because it's not you alone. We all are healing together as a collective. And that's what my understanding has been, that we all are in this journey together. It's not just me elevating. I have understand I have understood this, that I won't go home alone. I will go home together with everyone. And even all the ascended masters, all the teachers who have been here, who have left all of this wisdom for us, they are in that realm, guiding us from that realm. Each one of us, Jesus, Buddha, they are all there, because nobody's going home alone. We are all going home together. Yeah. And that's the long story answer to my journey behind creating Meditate with Sarika, creating Beautiful Humans. And I love this journey because I'm still working in my corporate job. I'm
Mm.
still, do my 9 to 5, and it's not like a world that I have to escape from. I don't see it as like, oh my God, I am like, I see that a lot in spiritual world, where people are always trying to
Yeah.
escape one reality into the other. Like, this doesn't work. Let's go. Why does this not work? Think about that, you know, and then work on that. Why does this not work? Because until you work on your inner self, whatever doesn't work in one place will not work in the other place, will not work in. People go through one relationship to the other
Mm.
relationship and see the same patterns repeating, because you haven't resolved it inside you. So when you resolve it inside you,
Mm.
you don't have to go anywhere. There's no escapism. You thrive in any situation, and wherever you go, you bring that joy and harmony with you in that place. I've been part of teams which were chaotic, and I tell you, I went there and I saw that and I was like, ooh, and I get excited, that I have so much, I can bring it so much of change here, so much of transformation here. So I really get excited when I see that chaos. And that's what I see, because I have
Mhm.
learned the process to, to turn chaos into harmony, whether it's internal or whether it's external. And when we turn chaos into harmony, it's a joyful ride. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that because you're right. Many people are scared to get trapped in the 9 to 5, and now they're trying to do something on their own. But I feel exactly what you said, that when we start doing something on our own, then we get trapped in, I have to do everything by myself. and we don't invite other people in collaborating. And I agree with you that we as humans thrive in communities and we thrive in tribes. That's how we were, um, I would say, designed to different roles, different people, different, like, one person is a leader, another person is not. And if you're trying to be that, but you naturally don't feel called to, then how are you going to manage a business without being that leader? So you have to be able to step into that leadership. And if you're not feel drawn to do that, then a job, a corporate job, could be something where you could find your passion and then also a sense of purpose and a belonging. So I agree with you that just because we are on the spiritual path doesn't mean that we cannot function in corporate world. And I love actually that you are there because you're exposing other people with your energy, and so they feel things, they can also start to sense things.
Yeah,
So it's you elevate them.
yeah. And I tell you, when we are on spiritual path, all our paths integrate, and everything that you do will become spiritual. Whether it's your
Mm.
corporate, whether it's your family, whether it's your relationships, whether it's your whatever you do it with intention. You do it with love. You do it with your presence, 100% presence. And everything becomes spiritual. And then you realize any friction is not the friction in the outside world, it's the friction within. And the friction we see in the outside world is just a mirror showing us what we need to work on within. So it's
Mm.
an opportunity for us. Every friction is an opportunity for us. It's just a
And I
matter of
loved how you said the chaos part also, that you were seeing chaos and you were not thinking that, oh no, I don't want that chaos. I just want happiness and bliss. But you were like, oh, chaos. Oh, okay. Let me see what I can do about it. I love that because for me, chaos now, I'm like, this something that I just recently kind of learned or tapped into is that chaos also means growth. And whenever there's growth, there's a level of chaos, a level of uncertainty, or not knowing what's going to happen next. And if you're always looking for convenience and comfort, then it will be very difficult to grow.
yeah, yeah,
So I love that.
yeah. It's Yeah, I think when we start looking, and I think this is why I recommend people meditating, sitting in that inner stillness is, you activate that part of yourself where you start seeing everything as an input from the universe.
Mhm.
When you sit in that stillness within, when you activate that inner connection, then the whole universe starts to give you signs about everything. Personally, for me, I feel it's the dance between me and the universe, and everybody else is just playing a player in that my reality, right? So
Mhm.
it's just the dance between me and the creator. That's all it is. And and wherever, universe, creator, call it God, whatever, I don't know, I mean, I may use many different names, but wherever I'm supposed to be, it will take me there. Whoever I'm supposed to meet, I'll meet them there. Whatever I'm supposed to say, it will speak through me. Whatever I'm supposed, so
Mhm.
it's a very feedback mechanism there. So everything is feedback for me, and I am operating in the world with that lenses. Like, who am I going to meet today? What am I going to have? What experiences will I have? What friction will I get to face? What joy will I get to say? Who will I get to see divine through again? When will divine show me again? In what ways? Maybe it will be through the twinkle of sunlight. Maybe it will be through a breeze. Maybe it will be through someone's twinkle in someone's eye. So
Mhm.
it's always that encounter, and that's the part, and that's the beauty of spirituality, working on your own inner self, that it doesn't remain about the external world anymore.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
only about you
Mhm.
and your growth and your spiritual growth. and the lessons that you have to learn along the way. And I think that's why we come here as humans on
Mhm.
this planet, to evolve and to grow. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love how you facilitate that with for people with the meditate with Sarika. And when I asked you about it for the first time, like, are you are you teaching people meditation? And you were saying that no, I'm not teaching them. I just offer them a space where it's conducive to go into meditation. And I really like that. It's
Yeah.
like a different kind of approach.
Yeah.
I,
It's, I often hear people saying, I'm a healer. I have to heal people.
mhm,
Nobody can heal anyone. Everybody heals themselves. We can become an agent to either trigger them into their own healing, or to inspire them, or,
mhm,
to provide a space where they can process all of that. But I don't think anybody can heal anyone. Everybody has chosen their own healing, their path of journey of healing. So like that, I don't think I do anything. I All I do is I just become fully present when I'm talking to my clients, when I'm with my community leading meditation sessions. I'm just fully present, and I allow the divine to flow through me, what needs to be said through me. And in that, I'm telling you, this is so magical. There are times when I will think my intention today is to guide people into a forgiveness meditation. Let's do this. But I'll start the meditation and I'll go in my inner silence, and my guidance will come in. No, say this. And I'll just put everything I've prepared aside and I'll say something else, and I'll go flow with it. Okay. And I don't know what things come when I am in
mhm,
that state and guiding people through meditations. You are a horse. I mean, I can't tell you like the kind of meditations you know, like I take people
mhm,
into deeper stillness, and then through analogies or through some things, some things that need to be said, and it will come through me, which would hold so much meaning for someone else, and they will be crying profusely in that session, like it was all meant for them. And later on, when we do a sharing circle, people will share, this came up for me, and I'm like, oh, glad I did not do what I prepared for, because this was meant to be delivered for you. So who am
Wow.
I to do anything, so it's I feel like it's the grace of God flowing through each one of us.
Mhm.
The moment we realize it is the moment we invite that. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel your journey from being an atheist or someone who's like, I don't believe all that, that doesn't
Yeah.
really make sense to me, to someone who is an open vessel. You
Yeah.
know, you're not in the sense identified with any specific path as such. It's like you're just being open. If it's a mantra from like a Hindu mantra, or if it's past life regression, or if it's whatever there's many things that you have explored on your path. I like how you were able to stay open, and it's
Yeah.
very inspiring. So like for somebody who's listening to this right now and they feel inspired and they feel like they're trapped in a life that doesn't feel like their own, is what's like one small step that they can take today to begin the journey back to themselves, like something
Mm.
practical I would like to
Yes. Yeah, I'll give you this. This is what I did when I started my journaling. I took down a piece of paper and I wrote down my current reality, my
Mhm,
current, right? What is right now, present, right, current, present, whatever. Write down each area of your life. Write down finances, career, love, relationships, family, excitement, experiences, adventures, whatever you want to write down, just list down, and then rate your life. How am I doing in my finances right now? 10 out of 10 means superb. You are rocking it. 5 out of 10, 4 out of 10, 10, 7, whatever it is. Write down current everything, rate down everything. And that's what I did for myself. I said, love, I'm feeling this. Finances, zero. this, I'm not independent. Like, I don't have my own finances. What if tomorrow something happens to my husband? What will I do? I don't have
Mm.
anything, right? So how will I raise my kids? Security. I don't feel secure. Yeah, I have the house, but again, my fears and everything. So I rated my life on all the tangents on 1 out of 10 or 1 to 10 on a scale of 1 to 10. And then I sat down and I meditated and I said, whoever, if there's a creator, God, whoever, I don't know, my inner self. I invoke the whole universe. Just say, light a candle and just sit down quietly. Close your eyes and just go place both your hands on your heart. Maybe do some Om chant. Om is a primordial sound of creation. It's a really powerful sound. It's a vibration. So just close your eyes, place your hands on your heart, and just do a couple of Om chants, right? Calm yourself, ground yourself, and ask Divine to help you, guide you through. And then on the next page, or draw a line and write down my desired reality. And then write down how much will make you, what will make you happy, what will make you 10 on 10. What do you need? What do you need on to be 10 on 10 in your finances? What does finances 10 on 10 mean to you? What does love 10 on 10 mean to you? What does joy 10 on 10 mean to you? In every area of your life, it has to be 10 on 10, perfect, that you are thriving in this life. What does it mean to you? Just do that. This piece of small exercise will give you so much insights into, it'll give your mind. The thing is that our mind holds a lot of clutter. I want this, I want this, blah, 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 blah. But it doesn't have clarity. What do I want? How does it look like? Your mind will get idea of what does a good life looks like to you, because you never had clarity about it. Now you have got clarity. And a mind is so powerful, in the sense a mind is a pattern recognizing machine, so supercomputer. So it recognizes patterns. When it knows, oh, this is what you want, all right, I'll show it to you in your reality. This, look, this. So I'll give an example that I'd really love to share. When you go shopping for a Honda white CRV, right? When you start looking up, when you start, right, Honda CRV, let's say 2020 model, this is what the car I want. Or Tesla red color, Tesla Y red color, this is the model I want. And the moment you decide what you want and you go out on the road, randomly driving, all your mind will show you is a red Tesla. All your mind show you is a white Honda CRV. It will show you, and you'll say, oh my God, I've never seen Honda CRVs white color, so many of them before. How come everybody in the world has Honda CRV white? This is because they were there. They were there before, but your mind, it was an information it ignored, because, and I shared this with you in the past, is like, because there's 2 million bits of information that is floating around us all the time. How much our mind can process is 126 bits of information, and it cancels out all the noise so that you get 126 bits of information that you need based on the thoughts, consistent thoughts that you're facing. You're repeating in your mind, right? So if you're repeating, my husband is this, that, it will show you more of that. Pay attention to what you're saying. Here, look what he did. Look what look, right? My boss is this. Oh, you are repeating that. Here it is. It will show you more proof of that, because everything is in this field. But the moment you do this exercise and you show your mind, I need this, it'll say you, oh, this experience you were looking for. Here. And you'll say, oh my God, how come I was looking for this vacation and it's showing up in my every feed? Or how come there might be a message, there might be something else that will show up to guide you through. How come, like, when I write down, this is what love means to me. And then you will start noticing all those moments when love was shown to you, but you did not even acknowledge that. Then you'll say, yes, I have this. I have this. So just do the simple exercise of giving clarity to your mind about What does my heart want? If I have all the resources in the world, if life is 10 on 10, what does that 10 on 10 life look like? What does it feel like? Make it juicy. That next desired page, make it all juicy. If I have love, which is 10 on 10, this is how I would feel. This is how I would, live or experience my reality. This is how my day to day would look like. This is 10 on 10 means. This is, if I have 10 on 10 in terms of finances, it means I have freedom to do whatever I want. Does it mean that I have 10 on 10 finances on everything on my $2 million in my bank account? What will I do with that $2 million in my bank? I have the freedom to do whatever I want. That's the end goal. What's the end goal of our human journey? Why are we here? To thrive, to enjoy this human experience. Sometimes people make it so big about what is my life purpose. The life purpose is to enjoy your human journey. That's simple. To enjoy every moment as it comes, to have fun. That's all. And then whatever that fun means to you. For you, it may mean making videos. For me, it may mean taking people into that deeper states of mind and then they're lost in their bliss. Wow. For someone, playing golf is fun. For someone else, riding on a horse is fun. So everybody's definition of fun is different. Do that. Enjoy it fully. Yeah.
Wonderful way to give yourself permission to dream, dream and dream beyond what you can even imagine, and then also get clarity on the things that you actually want and the things that you think you want. But once you write it down, you're like, okay, maybe is it really what, like 2 million, like you said, 2 million on my bank account? What's the point? Like, what am I going to do with
Lock
it?
it up and
And
keep my 2 million there? Or do I
yeah,
need the freedom? Or do I need,
correct.
security? What does security mean? Right?
Mm. Yeah, it's
So,
very, very powerful. I love this, and I really think that the audience is going to love this as well. So, where can people connect with you, learn more about your work?
so I have an Instagram handle, Meditate with Sarika. We also have a WhatsApp group, Beautiful Humans Community. Um, and I think, yeah, those are my preferred ways of connecting with people. So,
All
yeah.
right. Yeah, I'll link it in the pinned comment. So, whoever wishes to join, they can join. Thank you so much for your time. It's been
Awesome.
a blessing. There was 2, 3 times when you were sharing the stories, and I was like, "Whoa!" Like there was so much going on, like internally and processing. There was almost like tear, and then I just felt like it's incredible, the kind of experiences that happen when once you open yourself up.
Yeah.
And I loved the journey that you shared. It's very inspiring. So I'm looking forward to hear from the audience. Let us know in the comments what you guys resonated with, what you found, what you're curious about. Is there if there's anything that you want to maybe know more about? Let us know in the comments down below. I love to engage with the audience, and yeah, thank you, Sarika.
Thank you so much, Stephen, for this opportunity. Yeah, it's always fun connecting with you.